Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk with Brenda, where we have honest conversations that educate, inspire, and empower. If you're joining us for the first time, my name is Brenda, and I'm glad you're here. Pregnancy is a very beautiful journey, but amidst all of that, it can be quite challenging. It can come with its own changes and emotional uncertainty. Today, we are going into a deep conversation about pregnancy, everything that concerns it, and all the stages involved. To guide us through this conversation, I'm honored to introduce a registered midwife with us today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Brenda, for having me.
Welcome once again. So please introduce yourself to us and tell us a bit about your midwife journey.
Okay, thank you so much. So my name is Deborah Larbi, but I'm popularly known as AdwoaLarbi. I am a midwife, a registered midwife in Ghana, and I help women through pregnancy, labor, and postpartum. So I'm currently pursuing my master's in midwifery. So I'm an MPhil candidate. So so basically, this is me. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. We're so happy to have you here. But just a quick question. What made you choose this career path?
Okay, so thank you so much. So sincerely, I never chose midwifery. I never did. So it was after SHS we had to apply. I got application with KNUST, but I didn't get the course I wanted. I wanted to read pharmacy, but
Oh,
unfortunately
okay.
I was given herbal medicine. I was like, hey, what is herbal medicine? Let me see. I've gotten the link on the laptop now, but let's maintain this one. So I was like, what am I going to do with herbal medicine? So my guardian says I don't think it's ideal for me to read that. So I had to wait again for a year before for my colleagues to go. So the next year, then my guardian said I have to apply for nursing because nursing afterwards our jobs are already secured. So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wanted. So after I entered, then I got to know that there is something with the profession. Even if you don't like
Amazing.
midwifery, the midwifery will love you and it will change your your personnel. Yeah, and that is how everything
Oh,
started. Yeah.
amazing, amazing and interesting story. You see, maybe you wouldn't have enjoyed the pharmacy like you're enjoying the midwifery now. Everything
Midwifery,
happens for a reason.
sincerely,
Yeah.
sincerely.
All right. So, pregnancy. Tell us, what is pregnancy? Every time we hear pregnancy, the first thing that comes to mind is a woman with a big stomach. But even
Okay.
before the stomach appears, I believe there are different things that happen before we get there. So, tell us,
Yeah.
what is pregnancy?
Okay. So basically when we say pregnancy, a woman is pregnant. It means
Mm,
that the woman has missed her menses. There has
mm,
been a fusion of an egg and a sperm for it to form a baby. And if the fetus forms in her womb, we say the woman is pregnant. So basically, pregnancy, there will be a physiological change in your whole system because there is your uterus is carrying a fetus. So basically, that is pregnancy. Yeah.
Okay. So, when that happens, what happens after? Once somebody
Okay.
finds
So
out that they are pregnant, they see those, two lines. What do they expect? What's the next step? What happens after?
Okay, so basically, when you check in the house, maybe you miss your menses, then you will go further to check, do a urine test, and you find out it's positive, is ideal, or is good. You have to visit the hospital as soon as possible, and it's
Hmm.
preferably within the first 12 weeks. You have to start seeing the doctor, and there will be a major change in your body. There will
Hmm.
be a lot of physiological changes. You are going to get breast tenderness. Sometimes some people will have bloating, other people will have frequency of maturation. When I say frequency of maturation, some people will be having will be urinating frequently. They will be
Hmm.
having excess urine output. Then at others, there will be increased cravings, like there are aversions. Sometimes because of the change, because of the hormone estrogen, progesterone, and ACG, that's the human gonadotrophins. I don't want to use our medical terms here. Because of these hormones, our body tend to change a lot, and those changes
Hmm.
have a major let me say, a middle change on our system. So there are lots of things. Some will have a morning sickness, what we call the hyperemesis gravidarium. Some people, just after finding out, they'll be vomiting every now and then. Some, it does subside after the first trimester. Others, they would have to go through the whole trimesters with this vomiting. But as time goes on, it subsides and their body tends to adapt to these changes. Yeah. So
Okay.
basically,
So I heard you mentioned first trimester and all that. So first trimester, second trimester, third trimester. Now I want us to take it each trimester at a time, and then you tell us more about what happens in each trimester, so that any first time pregnant person or any person hoping to have a baby in future can understand what happens. What is first trimester? How many weeks is it? What happens there? Tell us.
okay.
Let's dive into it. What is first trimester? What is the
Okay.
thing? What are the things we need to expect?
Okay, thank you so much. So, with the trimesters, it means the months. We've divided the months into section. So the
Mm,
first 3 months, that's the first month to the 3 months, is the first trimester. So
mm,
first month, second month, third month is the first trimester. Then fourth, fifth, and sixth is the second trimester. Then seventh, eighth, and ninth is the ninth trimester. So with the first trimesters, that is when there is major physiological changes. That is
mm,
when a lot of the women will have changes. Some of them will have change in their skin. There will be
mm,
clausma. Some people, you will find a patch like a butterfly in their face. Some, they will have breast heaviness. Some will be having the vomiting, the
mm,
bloating. Some even have emotional change because there is anxiety, there is excitement, there is mood swings. A lot. And some other tend to have complications, like what we call minor pregnancy complications, like
mm.
somebody will have heartburns just at the
Oh,
mere
okay.
of eating. Then they will be having this. Normally happens during the first trimester. Then let's move to with the first trimester. So the first 1 to 3 months is what we call the 12 weeks, because
Mm,
each month is 4 weeks. So a month is 4 weeks. So first 4 months, so 12 weeks is the first trimester.
okay.
Please, I hope you get it. So from
Yes,
4 to
yes.
12 weeks is the trimester. And then the second one, that is when the pregnancy is advancing. That is when you've entered your fourth week, to your fourth month to your 6 month. So with
Mm,
the fourth month and the 6 month, now the gravid uterus is growing. Now it has moved from the pelvis into the abdomen. Now
mm,
changes are coming. So there will be a lot of pressure in your abdomen, where the growing fetus will sometimes press on your bladder, because in front of the uterus is where
mhm,
the bladder is, and behind this is where the rectum is. So that is when a woman is in labor or nearing labor, that is
mm,
when some of them, they tend to have a lot of frequency of maturation. The slightest urine that enters their bladder, they feel the urge to
wants to
bring it
come
out.
out. Mm,
Some even in labor, they would want to poo poo. The poo poo just comes by itself because the weight of the baby is pressing on it. And
mm,
within the same month, that is when the woman tends to have what we call the fetal movement.
mm.
From the 16 weeks, the woman will have fetal movement. That is what, oh, somebody will say, the baby not kicking me. Yes, the baby is now growing, so they tend to have fetal movement. That is what we call the quickening.
Mm,
Uh-huh. And with the third trimester, you are nearing labor. So there are a lot of, from that time, a lot of things are just coming back to normal. Your body is being prepared for labor. So that is
mm.
when some women will be having what we call the pseudo contractions, what we call the Braxton Hicks. So
Oh,
sometimes
okay.
the uterus will be preparing itself for labor. So
So that's
sometimes
not
you hear
actually the labor contractions, right?
that is not the actual labor contraction. So this is a false, a pseudo
Mm,
contraction. So this one, it comes and it goes off. It comes, your uterus contract, your abdomen become tense, then it relaxes. This one
mm.
is very, it has short. Maybe when you have one, it will take another minutes or some hours before another one comes. And
Number
this one,
one.
even if you are lying this way and you're having this Braxton Hicks contractions, when you change position, then it goes off. So that is not
Mm.
the real labor contraction. So I think basically that is it for now.
So in the first trimester, what would you say women should focus on to have a healthy first 3 months? Because it can be quite challenging. Because sometimes you're not able to eat, but you're supposed to eat because you need the energy. How do we balance all of this? And the little thing that is eaten, it ends up, being thrown up.
Right.
What are some of the things that can be done in these early stages to just help the woman get through that day, to get through the day? Because I
Okay.
need to eat, but if I eat, I'm throwing up, but I need my energy. What can they do?
Okay, so basically, it's not all women who go through this. But
Mm,
then when you are going through this morning sickness, when there are some women, they just wake up and they'll just vomit before they brush their teeth. That is very normal. But
mm,
when you will vomit 2 or 3 times in a day, then it means you have to report to the hospital. We have to
mm,
admit you. Then we have to give you intravenous infusions to restore you. Because if you are not being restored, there can be electrolyte imbalance. Because
mm,
your body, there can be shock, there can be signs of, because you are losing, whilst you are vomiting, you are losing water. So if
yes.
we don't replace what you are vomiting now, there can be a lot of complications. So in this, if you're a woman and you are having this vomiting, you would have to come to the hospital, because there are
Mm,
drugs or there are medications that we can give. You can't sit in the comfort of your home to have it. We would have to monitor a strict intake and output, so that we will know what you are taking in. Is it the same amount you are bringing out? Then we
mm,
have to restore you, because a lot of them are unable to eat. And some infusions are like food. Let me
mm,
use my layman's English. It's like food, so we would have to restore you. So we'll be giving you infusions and all that. Yes.
mm,
So,
mm,
I would advise that in the early trimesters, you have to
mm,
pay attention to your your you have to be strict, or you have to attend your antenatal clinics. It is
mm,
very, very
mm,
paramount in the early stages. Then you would have to take your folic acid, because folic acid prevents a lot of birth deformities. So in the early stages, in the early developmental stages of the pregnancy, it is very vital to take your folic acid and your supplements. And your
mm.
iron is also important in the
Important.
first trimester. Your calcium is also important, and protein. So you have to do all these things. Then it will have. Then in the early stages of the pregnancy, you
Mm,
have to avoid certain things. You have to avoid alcohol intake and smoking, because these substances contain some toxins which will be very harmful to the baby. So in the early
baby.
stages, not even in the early stages, throughout the pregnancy, you would have to avoid smoking and intake of alcohol. You have to avoid unprescribed drugs. A lot of women are victims of these. They'll just go online, they'll see somebody advertising for
Ah,
a drug,
mm,
then they would want to just take it. These are all unprescribed drugs. You need to talk to your GP, your obstetrician, or your midwife. Talk to them about it. I saw this, I would want to try. Do I have to? So they'll have to avoid. And in the early stages, to enough rest is very important. You have
mm,
to have enough rest. You cannot do away with rest in your pregnancy, so you have to try as much as possible. In as much as you can, you have to rest as well. Then always stay hydrated. As a
mm,
pregnant woman, it is good you always stay hydrated. So
mm,
sister Brenda, what I would say is pay attention to your folic acid and your
mm,
supplements. Your folic acid in the early stages of your pregnancy. Then pay attention to your body, so that in case there is any deviation from normal, when you see anything you are feeling that is not normal to you, don't sit in the comfort of your home. Just come to the hospital for you to be assessed.
mm. That's no, that's very key. That pay
Mhm.
attention to your body. It's your body. You
It's
would
your
know when
body.
there's something not right, and then if it's not, don't sit. So we just take our phone first and we Google. We will ask Google for, oh, I'm feeling this. What is this? And sometimes we rely on that and we get scared.
Good,
But
yeah.
it's better to go to the hospital if you're not sure, and then seek medical advice. And there's this question that I also want to ask. In the first trimester, is there something that's what's it called? I don't know if it's called spotting,
Okay, okay,
because you can sometimes confuse spotting for something else. When is it spotting and when is it not spotting, and when do you need to go to the hospital?
okay. Thank you so much for this question. So when you get pregnant, under no circumstance should you bleed or spot.
Mm,
So in the early stages of the pregnancy, some women will have what we call the implantation bleeding.
mm,
With this
mm,
implantation bleeding, it is not a heavy bleeding. It is just that you just visit the washroom, you are wee-weeing and you just clean yourself, then you see a mess of blood with your wee-wee and it is very light. When you
mm,
see that, you still have to report to the hospital. There is a drug we need to give you for the first 12 weeks, so that before the placenta will grow, it will secure the pregnancy. Then with the spotting, you realize that whilst you are spotting, you will have bloody show, like something comes out like cloth.
mm,
This one, it comes in your pants, and you have severe abdominal pain. When you see this, both of them, still you don't have to sit in the comfort of your home. You still have to come to the hospital for us to manage you. So with the implantation bleeding, the bleeding is not really dark red. It is just light. It is very watery when it's mixed with you. But with this pregnancy, the what we call placenta abrosio. Maybe somebody has gotten abrosio. It means the placenta is just detaching before the baby will come. So at the early stages, they will be spotting. So you have to report it. So in your pregnancy, if you see any spotting, because you cannot diagnose yourself whether as in
Yeah.
whether it's implantation bleeding or it is spotting, you would have to report to the hospital
Report.
so that necessary intervention would have to be made for you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for clarifying that, because it can be very confusing.
Yeah.
Is it spotting? Is it that? No, but thank you for clarifying it. So you say the first trimester is from week 1 to week 12.
Week one, okay, 1 month to 3 months.
3 months. Okay.
Yes. So
So
we'll say 0 to 12 weeks.
12 weeks. Okay.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
So now
12
that
weeks.
all this is over with the first trimester, when we
Mm.
get into the second trimester, what is happening? What are we expecting? Do we feel better? Does the vomiting reduce? Do we get our appetites back? What happens in the second trimester?
Okay. Okay, thank you, Brenda. So
Oh,
with
and
us,
just to interrupt, I don't know why they call the second trimester honeymoon phase. I don't know if you've heard it before, but why is it called like that?
okay, so it's called honeymoon phase because now a lot of changes are becoming normal. Your body is just
Mhm.
adjusting. So now there is increased energy. The vomiting has subsided. Now everything is just entering becoming normal, and your body is
Normal. Oh,
adjusting. That
yeah.
is when we tend to call it the honeymoon phase. So in the so in the second trimester, still the uterus is the baby is still growing. So the baby now becomes an abdominal it's now in the abdomen. Early in the first trimester, it was in
Mm.
your pelvis. It was
Oh.
in the pelvis. Now it has grown. It's gradually at your stomach level. So here,
Mm.
and that is when I said it, there will be changes, like you'll be having frequent urination, then backache, waist
Mm.
ache, like you'll be having a lot of back.
You're
So
carrying load.
pregnant because of the weight of the uterus, the weight of the baby, it is exerting on in your pelvis, your pelvic region. So there will be backache, there will be waist pain as well. So these
Mm.
are the cardinal signs, especially when it comes to the second trimester. And with the second trimester, that is when you have the baby movement, the baby kicks.
Mm.
You have it from 16 weeks, 17, 18, and it becomes prominent from 22 weeks.
So
Yes.
sorry, not to cut you, but with these pains, do you give anything to relieve it, or we have to go through it and
Oh, okay. So normally, we don't normally give pain relief, but we
Mm.
tend to talk to your partners to maybe do massage for you or use a warm compress on your back, because if we when you tend to depend on pain reliefs, you
Pain
become
relief.
addicted to them.
Mm.
And sometimes with this one, when you adjust your body, that is when in the second trimester, we advise women to be having a lot of pillows to support their backs. When you
Mm.
sit for a very long time, you have to break sitting. When you stand for a very long time, you have to break standing. And always make sure that you support your back
Your
and
back.
make sure that you attain a good sitting position so that you don't put much pressure on your back. So
Mm.
you can do sacral massage. Your partner can do the sacral massage for you. You can sometimes use a warm compress, but it doesn't really relieve you. So you can have other coping mechanisms. You can tend to read a newspaper, watch movie, or maybe just go on your TikTok, just scroll so that it will just
Watch
take your,
funny videos. Yeah.
yes, just to take your mind off. But you'll be fine as the pregnancy um goes on
Progressive.
and on, it progresses. Your body will be fine. It will adjust.
Mm.
Yeah.
So in this, what are the important scans and milestones that we find in this trimester?
Okay, so with the second trimester, there's one important scan that we do, which is called the anomaly scan. It
Mm.
is normally requested around 18 to 22 weeks. That is when you take a full scan for us to know the anatomy of the baby. If baby is growing well, if
Mm.
the brain has formed well, if the heart is doing well. So it is during this stage that if the baby has not formed well, a mother or a couple will be cancelled on the next decision to make, whether they would want
Mm.
to continue the pregnancy or they would want to end the pregnancy. And sometimes
Mm.
if the baby, let me say we have a baby who is anencephaly means that the baby, there is no scalp. There is a scalp that is covering our brains, but this baby doesn't have it. It means the baby's life is incompatible with life, so baby cannot
Wow.
survive. Would have to terminate the pregnancy.
Oh,
And
wow.
there are blood tests you need to do. So every week we would have to do HB level. We have to check your hemoglobin level
Mm.
to know whether your blood is up or down. So based on that, you'll be able to help you so that you don't become anemic. And also, it is during the second trimester or the stage that if maybe your sugars are skyrocketing, we would have to
Mm.
do we would have to request for them to check whether you are developing maybe gestational diabetes and all that.
Oh.
It is during the same trimester that if your BPs are also, there are any deteriorations in your BPs, or there are any variations with your BP, we would want to probe further. We want to do other investigation to see exactly what is really going on. Then
Mm.
in the same state, that is when we monitor the baby growth and
Mm.
position. So the scan will be able to tell you if the baby is coming with the head or aside the head, any part of the body. Because some of
Mm.
the babies can come with their buttocks, with their legs flex, some
Mm.
complete and all that. So during this stage, we are able to know and monitor the baby growth and all that. Yeah.
This is a very critical stage. A lot happens,
Uh,
and it can be overwhelming in this stage. So
yeah.
how do you encourage mothers, to stay healthy, to be active, and to how do you work on their mental health in this state? Because all that you have said, it can be quite overwhelming to do all of that in this 3 months. And I
Yeah.
think it can be quite stressful. So how do you encourage mothers to go through this stage?
Okay. So what we do is we encourage women to just find they should join groups,
Mm.
like belong to a group, belong to, maybe we have a class like pregnant women where you'll be able to voice out if you are not okay. And women,
Mm.
especially when they are going through something and they find
Mm.
others going through the same thing, it tends to encourage them. So if
Yeah.
somebody is talking about how I went through this, how I came out, how this helped me, it tends to encourage them. And when they have
Mm.
knowledge about what they are going through, they tend to be okay. And always you would have to talk whatever talk like voice out whatever you
Mm.
are going through when you are not okay. Try and get a trusted person and talk to them. You can talk
Mm.
to your midwife, you can talk to your obstetrician, you can talk to your doctor. Maybe today when I went, I am not okay. Or you can find a friend, someone you trust, that
Mm.
you can talk to today when I went, or your partner. And this, I want to use the opportunity that to tell our partners that they shouldn't leave our women alone. At least
Mm.
if they are not there to go to the hospital with them, when they come back, they should open, like they should allow them to talk to them. Like today when you went, what happened? Then that
Mm.
is when she is coming to open up to you. Today when I went, they said the baby's heart rate was low or the baby's heart rate was high, so I would have to be monitored on a CTG, or my BPs were high. So now they've asked me, when I'm having severe headaches, when I'm having numbness, when I'm having
Mm.
flashes of light, I should report to this. So when you talk to others, when they are seeing the changes, they will be able
Okay.
to help you. So don't be scared. Talk to your midwife. Always befriend your doctor or your midwife so that
Mm.
you'll be talking to them. And don't overwhelm them with calls, with everything you want to. Madam, what are they saying? Madam. No, just feel relaxed, feel okay, and always read about things. Though when you
Mm.
go to Google, there are a lot of information on it. But I think when you see something, you ask about it, understand
Mm.
what you are going through, and you'll be okay. So you don't have to be
Mm.
overwhelmed. Just understand what you are going. It's a phase. It's a transition. So I'm transitioning from this state to another, and it won't remain forever. It will change. So you have to
Yeah.
understand it to be
Mm.
fine.
Mm. Mm. That's really interesting, and that's so insightful, because when a woman is pregnant, she half the time she doesn't know what is happening to her. So I don't know
Yeah.
how their husbands, you see this, because there should be the safe space where she can say, "Oh, I feel A, B, C, D." Not that she's being overly sensitive or dramatic. But a lot of changes are happening. So
Yeah.
I also use the opportunity to encourage our husbands and our partners,
Yeah.
be intentional when your wife is pregnant. Be there in the process, because it's the two of you. The two of you made the baby. and
Yeah.
understanding the entire process together, it sort of serves as a check and balance. If the husband sees that, no, these days my wife is like this, like that, okay, I don't think this is right. Let's go and check,
That's
just
going
be a support system for each other. Thank you so much, Akosa. So now that all these are done, then what do we do in the third trimester? If you are doing all these scans and all this check, what else is done there? I'm sure by third trimester, they just want to push the baby and have their lives back.
Okay, so still in third trimester, we still request for a scan for
Mm,
us to now know the final position of the baby.
the
We
baby.
we also know the weight of the baby. Then
Mm,
decisions are made during that. Still, the lab request is being done for us to check your HB level, because when you go through labor, they'll definitely you will be bleeding. So we still have to know your HB level, and based on that, we'll be able to know your hemoglobin level. Then now your body is being prepped for labor. So there are going to be a lot of changes. This one here, there is increased waist pain, increased back pain, there is a low energy level, there is increased anxiety, there are mood swings, like you are anxious, you want to know, how is the baby coming, how is my pregnancy ending, what is happening, am I able to, all women want to deliver through vaginal, they want to have SB, the spontaneous vaginal delivery. But then with that, most of the time we don't have power over it. We all wish we do that, but anytime you come and there is a different, that is when we talk about birth preparedness and complication readiness. So you have to prepare yourself. So whilst preparing yourself, you have to get all your documents, your antenatal ready. When your hospital back, by then you have to know where you want to deliver. So where you want to deliver, you have their list. Then you prepare yourself according to the list. Then you prepare for transport. If you are driving, you know when you are in labor, you cannot drive yourself. And if you are not staying with your partner, then it means you would have to fall on a neighbor or Uber. And sometimes, do you know the funny thing, Brenda? When you need the Uber in Ghana, when you need them maybe late, when you need them maybe late in the night, that is when you don't get them. Maybe the
Yeah.
hotel is busy, so you would have to talk to a taxi driver or somebody who stays in your
Close
neighborhood
to
that
you.
I'm pregnant. So in case anything happens, I would be falling on you. When I call you,
Mm,
then you help me transport me to the hospital. So in the third trimester, baby now is basically about preparing, being ready when baby is coming. And your first scan before 12 weeks is able to give you an estimated date,
mm,
what we call the
yes,
EDD.
you
So
do.
with that, yeah, so your EDD is basically maybe 2 weeks before the expected date or 2 weeks after. It's based on that, then you'll be able to know when baby is actually coming. And I would want to use this opportunity, when you come and there is assessment and you will not be able to deliver by yourself, please don't get too worried, because cesarean section is another form of birth process. So if you're not able to deliver by yourself, we would have to deliver you through CSE. Don't get worried about it. So you have to prepare yourself in the third trimester. You have to do your donation. In Ghana, here is mandatory, or it's a protocol that every Ghanaian pregnant woman would have to donate 2 pounds of blood. Because when you donate the 2 pounds of blood, when you come into labor and there is severe bleeding, we would have to transfuse you. Notwithstanding, we have other beliefs who don't believe in that. But then there are
Yes.
other medications we also give them to help them as well. So in
So,
the third trimester, basically you are preparing
sorry,
yourself.
this 2
Yeah.
pints that they need to donate, do they donate it while they are pregnant?
It's not the mothers themselves. You would have to
Oh,
bring
okay.
a donor.
Okay, you
Yeah, we
bring a
have to bring
donor.
a donor. Yes.
Just
So
preparing
when
for
you
labor in case you need it.
in case you need. So you have to
Mm,
prepare, bring it as many donors you would get, because we have to screen them if there are
mm,
no sicknesses or diseases in their blood before we would be able to do it for you, have it done
okay.
for you, so that when you, so there are this question I normally meet. So somebody will say, so what if I donate and I don't use it? If you donate and you don't use it, somebody will need it, and the blood
Yeah.
is valid for just 3 months, because you
Mm.
know the lifespan, there is expiration when, so
Oh,
you can,
okay.
somebody will say that I donated last 2 years or last 4 years
Ah,
when I got pregnant, so now
nice fun.
I have come again for it. So it doesn't work that way. So in the third
Mm,
trimester, we are just preparing ourselves. In the third trimester, you have to engage in a lot of pelvic exercises.
mm,
Exercise that focuses on your pelvis. You have to go on YouTube, Kegel exercise, so that it will
mm,
strengthen your pelvic floor muscle. You have to do regular exercise. Some of us, when we get pregnant, let me say some are lazy, excuse me for my words, but we have some that sometimes, due because of the pregnancy, they are unable to do a lot of things, especially women who whose cervix is not competent. It means the cervix is not strong to be able to hold the uterus. So with them,
Mm.
we will have to tie their cell. With them, we have to do strict bed rest. So we don't
Oh,
allow them to engage
to
in a
move
lot of
about.
activity. But if doctor has not asked you, said you can do a lot of simple exercise, walking around, moving on the stairs. You can also engage during the third trimester. You can also be doing ta ta ta. I hope you know ta ta ta.
Hmm.
You know ta ta ta.
Oh, ta ta ta, yes. I know ta ta ta.
You know.
So I was actually going to ask because I heard, I don't know if it's a myth or a fiction, that you should not engage in sex in the first trimester because it can lead to miscarriage. Is it a myth or is there some truth to this?
Okay, so we would say it can be a myth, it can be a truth, in the sense that if in the early stages a doctor has not told you, assessment has if in the early stages assessment has been done and they realize that your service is not competent enough. When you say your
Mm.
service is not competent, it means your service is not strong to hold the uterus or to hold the
Interesting.
baby. It means we
Mm.
don't allow that. But notwithstanding, if nothing has been told, you are okay, the service is strong, is close, you can do it. But then in the early stages, you cannot do vigorous ta-ta-ta movements and other positions. You get it? So
But
you can
sometimes people
still
don't
do,
even know that they are pregnant, you see?
you know, you see, you don't know, and you still be doing ta-ta-ta, but with that one, nothing will happen to you. But the moment they just announce you, or you just find out, then you become too conscious of yourself.
Conscious.
And
Mm.
some people, a lot of we married women, we tend to make this mistake. We tend to starve our men from doing ta ta ta, and it's not helping at all. At the early stages, you find a woman moving from her matrimonial home to her mom. At that time, if you are not really sick or there are not any complications, there are minor. Why do you go to your mom, leaving him all by him? You need him. And research have shown that women who go through labor with their partners tend
Partners.
to deliver faster, and they like there is some sense of I know he's here, you know, like he's supporting me, so let me
Yes,
just
yes.
put
That
up my
support is, it
best.
means a lot, yes.
It means a lot. It means a lot.
Mm.
So basically in the third trimester you have to prepare for transports. You have to prepare yourself in case there is any complication. You have to be
Mm.
ready for it. You have to get all your documents, all the labs that were requested for you, all your scans has been done. Get
Mm.
your antenatal book ready. Get all your hospital staff, the baby staff, the things that you went for at the hospital for you to come. You are getting all of them ready to prepare you into labor, your labor journey. Okay.
Mm. So, a lot, a lot happening. But you mentioned something about gestational diabetes in the second trimester. So if it's
Yeah.
found that you have gestational diabetes, what then happens, or what's the next line of action?
Okay, thank you so much. So immediately a doctor finds out you are developing gestational diabetes, then they would have to run a test, that what we call OGTT, oral glucose tolerance test.
Mm.
When that is being requested, it gives them a clue, or now it now gives them the final. After it comes out, they'll be able to tell whether you have it or you don't have. And now when you have it, you will be referred to a dietitian or a nutritionist. Then they
Mm.
would have to plan your diet so that you would not gestational diabetes women are, they tend to give birth to very big babies, and this
Mm.
microsomic babies sometimes they are unable to push themselves, so they would have to monitor your weight,
Mm.
monitor your diet, put you on some medications. I don't want to mention the medications, and so that
Mm.
to monitor your glucose level for you, so that it doesn't go overboard, it doesn't go low and all that. Yes.
Mm.
So basically that
Mm.
is what we do.
So these women in this bracket, are they able to have a normal vaginal delivery or
Okay.
they are assisted?
Okay, so most of the time, the scan is able to give us an estimated weight.
Mm.
So when they find out the weight is too much, then you might not be able to go through normal vaginal delivery. But notwithstanding, there has been some women who are
Mm.
not gestate, who are not having diabetes yet. They had very big babies and they were able
Babies.
to give birth normal. Some 4.5, some 4.8, some 3.5. But we don't want complications because there
Yeah.
are major degree tests when it
Mm.
comes to allowing women to push by themselves with this very big babies, and there are other complications and all that. We would not want to allow these women to go through that. So when the scan give an estimated weight, and you fall between that range and you can do the SVD, the doctor will advise you accordingly. But most of the time, if it's more than 4 kg, then you'll be advised to weigh between the two, whether we'll do the cesarean section for you. Normally, even we don't do the assisted delivery because still baby is too big for the pelvic, the brim, and the baby will not be able to come out. Yeah.
Interesting. And also, in the second trimester, if you do the scan and the baby has maybe a foot or a bottom down, and in the third trimester, it's still the same, what are the options?
Okay, thank you so much. So, the normal position for the baby is when the baby is coming with the head.
Head down.
Head down, that is the best position. But if the baby is coming with any part of the body which is not compatible with SVD, you would have to be sectioned. So there are some other sometimes the doctors, there is a specialized thing we do which we call ECV, external cephalic version, but it comes with some complication. The doctors would have to externally turn the baby for the baby to come. Sometimes it will end up in breaking of your waters. You can enter into spontaneous your
Labor.
water can break and you can enter into labor. So that's even is being done by specialists. But then if baby doesn't change, they would see the type, the scale. Still, scan is able to tell us the position you are coming. If it's not compatible with SVD, we will just have to section. If baby is transverse, it means the baby is just lying like this. The baby has to be long. But if baby is lying like this, it means baby cannot pass through the pelvic beam. And Mr. Brenda, I would want every woman and the type of pelvis we have. But the most common pelvis we have is the gynecoid. It has an oval shape. So most women will be able to, but some women will have some type of pelvis which looks like love. So with a love like this, it means that when the baby is here, baby cannot push like pass through like this. We have other women whose brim looks like a bean shape. You know, with the bean shape, you know how beans is. Normal,
Yes,
just picture
normal
beans.
black beans.
Beans, baby can lie inside like this. The short anterior posterior, baby cannot come out
No
and all.
past through.
So scan will be able to tell us so that we will know whether they can be able to have the normal or we would have to section.
Thank you so much, Coach Aja. This has been very educative. Let me ask you this question. They said when you have heartburns, it means that you are going to give birth to a hairy child. Is that true?
Ah, it is never true. It is never true. It's a myth. It's never true. So heartburns is as a result of the hormone relaxing. It relaxes the muscles in there. So when it relaxes it, whenever you eat and there is any switch, you just have to like the esophagus open. I don't want to go much into our terms like you just have to have. So what we advise women not to take a lot of peppery food, not to take spicy food, not to be taking oily foods, and immediately you eat, don't sleep or lie, because when you do that, there will
What
be
is pregnancy
regurgitation.
without pepper and spice? Madam, this advice you are giving us. That's when we eat a
No,
lot of pepper.
let me clear this. Do you know there are some pregnant women who go overboard with the pepper intake? Are you aware? We
Yes.
have normal amount you can, but some if
So they're looking
they
for some heat, some level of heat.
and after eating it, they tend to have heartburns, and they are not okay. They're uncomfortable and all that. So you have to check all these things. You don't have to take oily foods, too spicy foods, peppery foods, and all that, so that you don't get
Mm.
these heartburns.
Mm. I think that for most women, once you are pregnant, your mind is already made up for vaginal delivery. But
Yeah.
I think we should be creating more awareness for women to be open to having multiple, have two options. If
Yeah.
A doesn't work, B, but not just A. And when you need to do B, it becomes a challenge. And I've heard of women who have lost their lives
Because
because
of
they
up
did
till
not
now.
want to have a section, they wanted a
Yes.
vaginal delivery.
Yeah. Up to
What would be
now,
your
it is
advice
still
to women concerning
okay.
this?
So every now and then we tend to talk to women when we are talking about birth preparedness and complications readiness. We are still advocating and telling women that when you come into labor and labor doesn't progress as you wish for
Mm,
normal vaginal delivery, and we tend to intervene, you have to accept it, because CS is also another birth method, and a lot of women has been delivered through CS and it has saved their lives and in that of their baby. So when you come, CS is not a death warrant like people are scared. And why am I? even some men will tend to insult their wives. You can't you see those things like so that who told you like to go under have a major surgery. You think that is a joke? No,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be doing those things so that the women will be okay. Like they should understand sometimes somebody can labor into up to 9 cm. It is just left with 1 centimeter and the baby's head is not descending. We would have to rush mother to theater to have section. And there's been a case that they were twins. One came by their mother delivered the baby by
Oh,
herself, but the second twin was tagged. We would have to do section to
wow.
save the baby. So when you come and live, SBD is not compatible with you, please accept CS. No, now the CS is not scary. Within 45, 51, close to 1 hour, we are done and you are good. Baby is lying, you're also lying, you are happy. So please don't be scared. CS is not scary. Yes, CS is not scary. So there
It's
shouldn't be
not
scary.
scary.
Yeah,
Mothers, wives, sisters, husbands, brothers. The goal at the end of the day is to save the life of the baby and the mother. So
mother. Yeah.
whatever means that the doctor finds that will be fit this, please, let's listen to the doctors. If CS is what to save the life of your wife and your child, please, let's listen to the doctor. Having a child through CS doesn't mean that you're not woman enough
Yeah.
or you're not strong enough, or you didn't do it like the way the ancient women did it. No, the goal is to save the life of the mother and the child. So whatever method that is presented, depending on your situation. Imagine having the baby in a different shape and the family is not agreeing for a CS. Oh,
Look at that.
so please, we are using
Those-
this opportunity. The midwife has said it here. The goal is to save the life of the mother and the child. So please, whilst we are going to antenatal and all, husbands and wives, have this discussion. Be open to AB so that in case there will not be any hold up because they don't want to sign the form. But
Yeah.
the life is more important. So let's save the life first. Thank you so much, Adwa. So with all of this, what advice would you give to any expectant mother or parents concerning pregnancy?
Okay. So
What will
thank
be
you
your
so much.
final words to them?
Okay. So my final words is if you get pregnant, always pray. Pray first,
Hmm.
eat well, take your supplements, take your iron, always stay hydrated, and always don't miss your antenatal scare.
Antenatal. Please
Yeah, that's
don't miss antenatal.
antenatal. Yeah.
Women, don't
Even if
miss
you feel
antenatal.
well, don't miss antenatal because antenatal is very important. It helps us to know what is happening to you, the mother, and the
Hmm.
baby. And if there is any complications, we are able to see it, detect it, and help you early. So please do take care of yourself, and you'll be fine. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Thank you for sharing your knowledge so much and for helping us understand all that happens during pregnancy. Today, we've learned that every person's journey is unique and
Yeah.
everybody has a different service. Don't look at what somebody did and say, oh, A did this, so I can also do it. Pay attention to your body. If you find anything different, please, that's why you have the midwife and the professionals over there. Reach out to them. Google it, or if you Google it and you see it, don't sit at home. If you don't understand, please ask the professional. Or like the midwife said, ask trusted people for advice. And it's not all advice that you should take. What might work for somebody might not work for you. If you are not sure, that's why you have a midwife. Please don't miss your antenatal appointment. Husbands, please, we beg you, be present through the entire process. It helps so much to know that your husband is there. Even if you cannot go to the appointment, when they come back, check the notes. Oh, what did they say? What's happening? So how is baby doing? Be intentional. And
Intentional.
CS and vaginal delivery are the same because the goal is to save the life of the mother and the baby. So please don't shy away from either options when they are presented to you. Thank you so much, Adwa, for joining us. This has been a very educative session. If this story or this session has been so inspiring, we encourage you to share this episode and spread the word. This is Let's Talk with Brenda. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on our next episode. Thank you so much, Adwa, once again.
Thank
We
you
really
for
appreciate
having
your
me.
time. Bye for now.
Bye bye.
Bye.